Trump didn't violate campaign finance laws, and neither did the president. Trump ex-aid. So they're saying that...
Wait, I interviewed him on my program the other day.
Okay.
For over 20 years, Harris Faulkner has navigated the fiercely competitive realm of television journalism with remarkable success. Her impressive accolades include 6 Emmy Awards, anchoring some of the network's most groundbreaking shows, and earning a reputation as an exceptional interviewer. Faulkner's impact is undeniable, and her departure from Fox News has sparked widespread speculation about her next chapter. Faulkner's career has been defined by her commitment, resilience, and dedication. To understand her decision to step away, it's essential to explore her illustrious career, early life, and professional journey. Born on October 13, 1965, in Fort McPherson, Atlanta, Georgia, Faulkner was raised in a military family. Her father, the esteemed Lieutenant Colonel Bobby R. Harris, was a dedicated U.S. Army officer and aviator who served heroically in Vietnam. Growing up on military bases, including one in Stuttgart, West Germany, during her father's service, Faulkner experienced a diverse range of environments that shaped her unique perspective. Faulkner earned her Bachelor of Arts in Mass Communications from the University of California, Santa Barbara, laying the foundation for her media career. She started modestly at Los Angeles Weekly, where she covered business stories as a freelancer for just $50 each. Her journey into television began with an internship at KKOP-TV in Los Angeles, eventually leading to a reporting and anchoring role at WNCT-TV in Greenville, North Carolina. From 1992 to 2000, Faulkner captivated viewers in Kansas City as the engaging face of WWF-TV's evening broadcasts. During her time in the city, she faced unwelcome attention and harassment from an acquaintance from North Carolina, but her resilience saw her through. She later moved to KSTP-TV in Minneapolis-St. Paul, where she became a key member of the nightly anchor team. Her tenure at KSTP-TV concluded in July 2004, after which she joined Fox News in 2005. Initially serving as a correspondent for the relaunch of A Current Affair, Faulkner showcased her talents until the show's cancellation in October 2005. She then took on her first solo network newscast, Fox Report Weekend, where she made her mark from 2011 to 2017. In 2018, Faulkner not only covered the midterm elections but also stepped in to replace Shepard Smith on Shepard Smith Reporting and Martha McCallum on The Story. Before Greg Gutfeld left Red Eye, Faulkner was a regular guest on the late-night comedy show. Currently, she frequently appears on Gutfeld's nightly show and occasionally co-hosts The Five. Faulkner joined Fox News in April 2014 as a co-host of Outnumbered, where she brought her unique perspective and style to the program. By 2017, she transitioned to more in-depth news coverage as the anchor of Outnumbered Overtime. Her passion and expertise culminated in the launch of her own show, The Faulkner Focus, in early 2021, reflecting her commitment to delivering significant news coverage. After Tucker Carlson's departure from Fox News Tonight in June 2023, Faulkner took on the role of interim host. Her presence brought a fresh perspective and energetic dynamism to the broadcast, underscoring her dedication to providing compelling and informative news. While at a BC's KSTP in St. Paul, Faulkner won 4 regional Emmy Awards, including Best Anchor for 3 consecutive years in 2002, 2003, and 2004. She was also awarded an Emmy for her work as an anchor on the news show Eyewitness to War. In 1998, she received the coveted Amelia Earhart Pioneering Lifetime Achievement Award for her humanitarian efforts. Faulkner's remarkable work was recognized in Variety's 2021 New York Women's Impact Report, particularly for her perceptive conversation with former President Donald Trump in 2020, which took place following the untimely death of George Floyd. There's more to Harris Faulkner than her work life, and in a recent interview, she opted to open up, revealing details about her personal life, an insight into her life. During a recent discussion within Kansas City from her Manhattan office, Faulkner discussed her military upbringing, her love of Kansas City BBQ and the Chiefs, and even provided a funny tale about meeting her husband. When the conversation turned to her transformative trip to Vietnam, which she had earlier regarded as a heavenly assignment, Faulkner expanded on its tremendous emotional and professional significance. She compared it to a military brat mission, which sprang from her lifelong fascination about her father's service in Vietnam. Faulkner described how she and a determined Fox Nation team of 7 set out on their adventure to Vietnam with one goal in mind: to create something genuinely unique for the streaming platform. Their major focus was on determining how to properly respect and acknowledge Vietnam soldiers, especially given the chaotic and divided nature of the era. She highlighted the dramatic contrast between how veterans of past wars are frequently recognized and acknowledged for their service, vs. how those returning from Vietnam, including her father, were welcomed with sadness, pain, and uncertainty. Wrapping off her reflections on the Vietnam trip, Faulkner described how her intense curiosity for the communist nation, which was inextricably linked to American history, had resulted in a sequence of astonishing and eye-opening encounters. She described the 2023 voyage as a continuation of her heavenly mandate, emphasizing the journey's twin significance: a profound personal investigation linked to her military training and a larger mission to shed light on the complexity and repercussions of the Vietnam War. Faulkner worked with a team of 7 Fox Nation employees to create a special project for the streaming platform. Their primary goal was to appropriately recognize Vietnam soldiers, given the war's divisive character and the anguish that many veterans, including Faulkner's father, experienced upon their return. Unlike veterans of earlier conflicts, individuals who served in Vietnam were not always greeted with appreciation. Drawing on her experience in a military family, Faulkner emphasized the virtues, such as adaptation and tenacity. Being a brat born, reared, and transferred instilled in her a strong feeling of patriotism. She cherished her father's teachings about America as a young nation striving for greatness, as well as his unshakable trust in the Constitution's transformational potential to raise the nation. Regardless of racial tensions at the time, Faulkner's father saw his military service as a divine calling and emphasized the significance of Black people standing up for their nation when duty beckoned. His passion to defending his country, as well as his strong confidence in American principles, left an indelible impact on Faulkner, influencing her outlook on patriotism and the need of honoring those who have served their country. Faulkner also shared recollections of her father, who died on Christmas morning, 2020. She characterized him as a man who maintained a positive attitude in the midst of adversity and conflict. Despite his retirement, he continued to work as a math and physics instructor because he thought that young people required his advice and expertise. Faulkner remembered how he was constantly trying to raise people and was committed to assisting future generations. Faulkner discussed the hardship of celebrating Christmas after her father's death, as well as the circumstances surrounding his gentle departure. On that fateful morning, he was dressed and ready to go to her sister's for an early Christmas lunch, but he never arrived. Concerned, her sister asked their uncles, Ronnie and Tim, to check on him. They subsequently informed her that he died quietly in his sleep, believing that the Lord had called him home. Despite her anguish at losing her father, Faulkner expressed optimism that he was not tormented in his dying hours. She prayed that he would remain the upbeat, battle-ready soldier he had always been, even as he went on his trip into the afterlife. She was then questioned about her first Emmy and headlining award, as well as the particular lessons she gained at Fox 4 that impacted her national career. She reminisced about growing up on TV in Kansas City, having only spent a short time in her first market, Greenville, North Carolina. She added that Kansas City felt like home and that she had become a part of the community. She recalls people wondering if her openness about her beliefs would be an issue, and she said that she believed she was in the proper place. She emphasized that, while she wasn't attempting to proselytize, people frequently questioned how she managed to present the news during difficult times, and her religion became a natural part of those talks on air, particularly during major calamities like floods and tornadoes. Working alongside her co-anchor Phil Witt, as well as the weather and sports teams, helped her feel supported not just as a journalist, but also as a young woman pursuing a career. She also discussed her family's connection to Kansas City, stating how her parents, who had relocated to Denver and then Texas, enjoyed visiting her when she was living there. They were so fond of Kansas City that they established a pop-up BBBQ rib restaurant combining Kansas City with Texas flavors. She giggled as she recalled their enthusiasm and how they had supported her through numerous milestones, including receiving the Amelia Earhart Lifetime Achievement Award in Atchison, Kansas. Her father, she recounted, even delivered an impromptu speech on his own memories living on a military base in Kansas. Finally, she highlighted how her parents assisted her in purchasing and renovating her first house on Ward Parkway, which was a pivotal event in her life as she entered adulthood. It was a unique moment, she added, since her parents were always there to encourage her and desired to be a part of her adventure. However, one piece of her personal life that she disclosed was a memory she treasured: meeting her spouse. They were not just co-workers, but rivals in the harsh world of local news broadcasting. While he worked at the prominent CBS network station in Minneapolis, she held her own at a BC affiliate KSTP. The contrast between their networks was enormous, as he worked for the direct network station and she for an affiliate. Despite this, they were both well-respected in their respective positions. He was an experienced investigative reporter who frequently dominated the news with his in-depth articles and excellent live shot abilities. His reputation as a gifted journalist preceded him, making him a force to be reckoned with in the field. Meanwhile, she was making history by becoming the first black woman to anchor the state's nightly news at 5 p.m. Her appearance on TV was not only momentous but also inspirational to those who looked up to her as a trailblazer. Their paths intersected with then-Mayor Norm Coleman of St. Paul. He had noticed her as she was jogging beside the river in a promotional video. The mayor's gesture of waving to her set off a series of events that resulted in his expressing an interest in seeing her through their common acquaintance Julie Nelson. Julie, who worked the 6 p.m. news with him, was astonished by the mayor's request, but followed professional protocol by obtaining permission before enabling the introduction. The development of this unanticipated connection adds a fascinating element to their already dynamic relationship as competitors in the fast-paced world of local journalism. She went on to say that the folks in her newsroom were some of the nicest she had ever worked with, and she trusted Julie's judgment. They ultimately agreed to meet in person at Julie's impending birthday celebration, believing that if Julie thought he was a lovely guy, he most likely was. He came to the party with a date. She wasn't sure how much more of the narrative they wanted to hear after that. Meanwhile, Faulkner is all about motivating others, and she has spoken candidly about her path to success and how she manages to keep her personal life together. Faulkner discusses news, motherhood, and race in America. During the conversation, Faulkner discussed a variety of subjects, including her impressive year of accomplishments, the tricky balance she strikes between parenthood and her professional career, and her opinions on appropriately addressing significant national issues. She made it obvious that her success was not the result of chance, but of her resolve to carve out her own route in life. When asked what legacy she hoped to leave behind, Faulkner stated that being remembered as a caring and committed mother would be the greatest fulfillment for her. She continued on how this emotion pervaded all aspects of her life, particularly her position as a mother to her two mixed kids, who were negotiating the intricacies of adolescence and self-discovery at the ages of 12 and 14. Faulkner thought that being a wonderful mother involved instilling in the younger generation a desire to actively contribute to making the world a better place, as well as demonstrating that kindness and compassion are strengths rather than weaknesses. Reflecting on the value of leadership, Faulkner emphasized the need of resilience and aggressiveness in overcoming obstacles. She emphasized the significance of not succumbing to doubts or impediments when confronted with advice to be less forceful, claiming that overcoming such barriers is critical for personal growth and success. Faulkner discussed the changing expectations that women confront in today's culture, emphasizing how the present generation confidently accepts their innate power and significance. She mentioned the positive shift in perspective of the phrase alpha female, which originally had negative connotations but now represents development and empowerment for women. She also discussed her experience delivering painful news, including the morning of the Sandy Hook massacre. She said how she recognized the severity of the situation when she saw a funeral car come at the scene and chose to spend a moment with the audience to enable them to comprehend the sorrow. She also described her 2020 conversation with former President Donald Trump, which took place in the following of George Floyd's passing. Faulkner added that when Trump mentioned the protesters, she interrupted him and reminded him that George Floyd had screamed out for his mother in his last moments. She stated that at that point, it seemed like they were simply two individuals having an honest talk. For her, it was a reminder that true human connection might be more essential than making huge remarks. Concerning remote employment, she described how she had effectively adjusted to broadcasting from home. She emphasized the value of flexibility, stating that if she needed a day to focus on her family, she should be able to work from home without difficulty. Faulkner indicated a wish to contribute to the discourse about the future of women in professional areas, emphasizing that her hard work and devotion had led her to her current position as a woman of color with her daytime television program. Before we get into the true reason she quit Fox News, let's go over some facts about Harris Faulkner you may not have known. Veteran anchor. Harris Faulkner has a long history in journalism. Faulkner has 6 Emmy Awards and has been a Fox News mainstay since 2005. Throughout her lengthy career, she has covered everything from extreme weather occurrences to heated town hall meetings and live broadcasts from major state fairs. In her 2006 web profile, Faulkner stated that her life's aim is to inspire before I leave. With the launch of her new show, The Faulkner Focus in 2021, Faulkner demonstrates that she is an experienced journalist with many more stories to tell. Despite her well-known appearance on television screens, there may be some little-known truths about the respectable Fox News anchor. Harris Faulkner made history as Fox's first black female midday anchor. When Faulkner took over as showrunner at Fox in 2014, she produced a watershed moment in journalistic history. Faulkner joined Fox's daytime show Outnumbered as a co-host in April 2014, and she later became the anchor for Outnumbered Overtime in 2017. Faulkner's focus on the airwaves made its appearance in 2021, marking another milestone in her career. Despite now living in a busy metropolitan area, Faulkner began her career in the heart of the Midwest. Faulkner worked as an anchor in Kansas City, Missouri from 1992 to 2000, according to the Kansas City Star. Following her stint in Missouri, Faulkner relocated to Minnesota, where she spent 4 years honing her abilities at KSTP-TV until leaving in 2004, according to the Twin Cities Pioneer Press. Faulkner is proud of her heritage and recognizes the hard work required to get to where she is now. In an interview with the Canadian magazine In Between, she stated that her success extends beyond numbers and is not only focused on her own aspirations. She emphasized the relevance, power, and portrayal of true transformation by having a black woman serve as the only host on a set designed just for her show. Faulkner feels that her presence as a Fox News anchor stems from a sense of importance and appreciation. People sometimes draw assumptions about Faulkner's political ideas based on her ethnicity, gender, and position with a conservative news organization. Despite this, Faulkner stays undeterred and handles these circumstances with a positive attitude. Faulkner told the Associated Press in 2020 that when people assume they have fully comprehended you based only on your looks and job, you have the opportunity to pleasantly surprise them. Harris Faulkner is held in high respect by her colleagues. Faulkner has received 6 Emmy Awards over her career and has been praised for her rigorous skills. Specifically, Faulkner was praised for her informative interview with former President Donald Trump during the height of the Black Lives Matter movement. Bill Gruskin of the Columbia Journalism Review observed that she showed no hate or appreciation. He stated that she infused her perspective into the interview, emphasizing her identity as a black woman and a mom, which is a method rarely used by journalists but accomplished with accuracy and care. According to the Twin Cities Pioneer Press, Faulkner reacted to Gruskin's CJR story with pride and humility. She stressed the necessity of conveying facts, truth, and strength in journalism, which she considers to be fundamental to the profession. During an interview with Fox News, she discussed how important her experience covering the AIDS pandemic in South Africa, the Natalie Holloway case in Aruba, and the Oklahoma City bombing was to her career. Faulkner stated that many people, including her family members and significant characters such as Nelson Mandela, Barbara Walters, Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, and Diane Sawyer, had an important influence in molding her personal and professional career. Harris Faulkner, a Georgia native, has made an international name for herself. According to Fox News, she was born in Atlanta, Georgia, but her childhood was anything from average because her father's military duties sent her to bases all over the world, including Stuttgart, Germany. These varied experiences exposed her to a variety of cultures and people, teaching her how to overcome obstacles and accept change. After finishing her study at the University of California, Santa Barbara, Faulkner's first important employment experience led her to Los Angeles. She then accepted her first professional employment in Greenville, North Carolina, before going to Kansas City, Missouri. Faulkner's affection for the Midwest informs both her professional endeavors and her relationships. Those Midwest locations retain a particular place in Faulkner's heart since they were the beginning of her professional achievement, when she earned numerous awards and met her life partner.